Days of Our Wednesday, March 4th spoilers and deep dive analysis. Oh my God, Salem is absolutely unraveling. Salem is absolutely unraveling this week. And if you thought things couldn't get messier, buckle up, because Wednesday's episode is going to hit different. I'm talking drug conspiracies, a Demera power reckoning, Marlena playing detective again, and one of the most diabolical teen villain arcs this show has served us in years. You ready? Because I am not calm about any of this. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, first of all, you have excellent taste. And second, today we are breaking down the full Wednesday, March 4th spoilers for Days of Our Lives. But we're not just reading a list. No. We're going deeper. We're connecting dots. Calling out bad behavior. Throwing out wild theories. And I will absolutely be picking favorites. That's just how we do things here. Let's get into it. 1. Holly Jonas, the victim nobody sees coming. Okay. Let's start with the storyline that is genuinely making my blood boil, and I mean that as a compliment to the writers, because good drama should make you feel things. Holly Jonas is in trouble. Real trouble. Maggie Kyriakis and Sarah Horton are going to have a conversation Wednesday about Holly's increasingly erratic behavior. And look, I get it. On the surface, a teenager acting strange, being emotionally unpredictable, losing her grip. The immediate conclusion in Salem is always going to be drugs. But here's what makes this storyline so much more sinister than your average soap relapse arc. Holly IS using drugs. Technically, except, and I cannot stress this enough, she has absolutely no idea. Sophia Choi, who has been flying under the radar as this seemingly secondary character, has been swapping Holly's regular skin supplement pills with her own antipsychotic medication. Let that sink in for a second. This is not recreational use. This is not a cry for help. This is a teenage girl being poisoned by someone she probably considers a peer, if not a friend, and then being set up to look like a troubled kid spiraling out of control. This is genuinely one of the most cold-blooded moves I've seen from a younger character on this show in a long time. Sophia is operating at a level of calculated cruelty that feels almost Demeraisk, like somewhere in hell. Stefano is nodding with approval. Now, let's talk history, because this is where it gets really rich. Remember back when Holly first overdosed, that entire storyline was a gut punch. This innocent kid, daughter of Nicole and Daniel, caught up in something that nearly destroyed her. The town rallied, the guilt rippled through characters for months. It changed relationships, reshaped storylines, left scars on characters like Eric and Nicole that we're honestly still seeing play out. And now, years later, we're watching history threaten to repeat itself. Except this time, it's not accidental. It's targeted. It's personal. Sophia isn't just reckless. She is deliberately engineering Holly's downfall. And the tragic irony is that the adults circling Holly right now, Maggie, Sarah, are looking at the symptoms without any concept of the true cause. Sarah Horton, who is a doctor, by the way, is going to look at her niece and see a relapse. And I understand why the signs will all be there, but this is the dramatic irony that soap opera does better than any other genre. We, the audience, know the truth. We're watching good people make completely wrong assumptions in real time, and it's agonizing. What does Sophia actually want? That's the question I keep turning over. Is this purely about Tate? Is there something deeper going on with her character that we haven't been shown yet? Because the level of effort Sophia is putting into this suggests more than just teenage jealousy. There's a coldness here that feels like it could have roots we haven't explored. I want the show to go there. Give Sophia a backstory that explains this. Make her a legacy villain, not just a throwaway antagonist. The potential is absolutely there. And speaking of Tate, he's going to be reaching out to Ari Horton Wednesday, apparently needing some kind of favor. My read: he's starting to notice something is genuinely wrong with Holly, and he doesn't know who to turn to. Ari is a safe choice. She's family adjacent. She's perceptive, and she's not going to immediately jump to the worst conclusion. Tate Black, for what it's worth, has been one of the more emotionally grounded young characters on this show. He's not perfect, but there's a sincerity to him that I find really compelling. The fact that he's fighting for Holly even when she's pushing everyone away says a lot about who he is. I'm rooting for this kid. Hard. To Marlena and Xander, the therapist and the rogue. All right? Let's shift to Marlena Evans and Xander Kyriakis, because this pairing, unexpected as it is giving me everything. Wednesday, Marlena is going to sense that Xander is in some kind of trouble. Now, Marlena Evans has been in Salem so long, she's basically a human polygraph at this point. Deidre Hall has been playing this woman for decades, and there's something about the way she reads people that never gets old. When Marlena gets a feeling about someone, you pay attention, and she's right. Obviously, Xander IS in trouble specifically. He and Kate Roberts Brady have cooked up this scheme to hit DiMera Enterprises with what sounds like a genuinely massive plagiarism lawsuit. The hook. They used Johnny DiMera as bait, got him to lure in the literary rights angle, and now they're positioning to drop what's being described as a monster lawsuit on the DiMera family. Now, I want to be real for a second about Xander's motivations here, because I think the show is doing something genuinely interesting with his character arc. Xander is not doing this because he's a bad person. That's the whole thing with Xander Kyriakis. He has this persistent tension between who he wants to be and what he feels he has to do. The Kyriakis estate is on the line. Maggie, the woman he genuinely loves and respects, could lose everything if Titan can't cover its debts. And Xander, for all his rough edges, would burn the whole world down before he lets Maggie Horton suffer. That's not villainy. That's a flawed man making desperate choices for someone he loves. And that is compelling drama. Marlena is going to warn him, tell him not to do anything he'll regret. And Xander, bless his stubborn, morally complicated heart, is going to ignore her completely and push forward anyway. Here's my take. Marlena is right that this path is dangerous, but she's not wrong about Xander's capacity to surprise people. Let's not forget this is a man who once worked for Victor Kyriakis in some genuinely dark capacities. He has been a kidnapper, a mercenary, a manipulator, and somehow, through years of story, through his relationship with Sarah and his complicated family dynamics, he's evolved into something more nuanced. Not a hero, but not a pure villain either. The Kate Roberts Brady angle is particularly spicy. By the way, Kate is one of those characters who has survived Salem on sheer cunning and force of personality for so long that she could probably scheme her way through anything. Pairing her with Xander in a morally gray business conspiracy is exactly the kind of alliance that feels organic to both characters. These two understand each other. Neither of them is going to pretend to be something they're not. Will it blow up in their faces? Almost certainly. But the ride is going to be worth it. 3, EJ DiMera and Paulina Price, the interrogation scene. I didn't know I needed, okay? I need everyone to brace themselves, because Wednesday is also giving us Paulina Price going full prosecutor on EJ DiMera, and I am here for it. Paulina Price, played by the incomparable Jacquet. Harry does not play games. She doesn't soften her questions. She doesn't let powerful men dodge and weave. She walks into a room and demands truth. And she's going to do exactly that with EJ this Wednesday. EJ DiMera is carrying secrets, big ones, And Paulina, who has her own instincts honed by years of navigating power and politics, can smell it. She's going to grill him, challenge him, and according to spoilers, she is going to swear she will find out exactly what he's hiding. The dramatic irony, again, we know what EJ is hiding, or at least we're getting very close to knowing, because here's where I have to slow down and talk about the elephant, or rather, the glowing tube occupant in the room. The spoilers strongly suggest that EJ is about to reveal who has been living inside that stasis tube. And every hint, every clue, every breadcrumb, the show has been dropping points to one person, Lexi Carver. Let me tell you why this would be one of the most emotionally loaded reveals in recent Days of Our Lives history. Lexi Carver was a legacy character in every sense of the word. The daughter of Stefano DiMera, a doctor, a woman who tried for years to escape the shadow of her father's legacy and largely succeeded through sheer goodness of character. Her death years ago from a brain tumor engineered in part by the toxic prism pit she was exposed to was genuinely devastating. It changed Abe Carver. It changed the entire town's relationship with the DiMera family. If Lexi is back recast, as the spoilers suggest, possibly with Nikki Crawford, it's not just a plot twist. It's a reckoning. It reopens every wound, every grief, every guilt that characters have spent years trying to process. And for EJ specifically, his relationship with Lexi was complicated by their shared DiMera heritage, by his loyalty to Stefano, by moments of genuine sibling connection. This reveal is going to destroy him, or reveal him, or both. Oh my God, the idea that EJ has known about this, possibly orchestrated it, and has been carrying it alone. That's either the most loving or most deranged thing a DiMera has done in recent memory, which, given this family's track record, could be either one. 4G Wen and Kat the Side Story with teeth. Before we wrap, let's touch on Gwen von Leuschner and Kat Green, because this subplot is quieter but it has claws. Gwen is going to encounter Kat Wednesday and unleash some frustration, and Kat, true to form, is going to use that emotional moment as an opening, because Kat Green is not here to make friends. She is here to extract information specifically about EJ, and she will use any crack in someone's armor to get what she wants. I find Gwen genuinely fascinating as a character because she has been through so much. The rivalry with Abigail, her complicated relationship with Jack, her moral evolution, and she's now in a position where people keep trying to use her. Kat is just the latest. The question is whether Gwen is smart enough to see what's happening in time. Given her history, I'd say she probably is. But she's also emotionally raw right now, and that makes her vulnerable in ways she might not even recognize. So where does all of this leave us heading into the back half of this week? The Holly situation is going to escalate. So